refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. And today, we are talking about games for the last Saturday of the regular season. This is the last Saturday. This is the last weekend of the regular season. Next week, we got a bunch of more tournaments starting. Tomorrow is the last day of the regular season. But, man, what a season it's been so far. But before we get into those games, absolutely shout out to Miami, Ohio, for winning yesterday in a building where they haven't won in 15 years. If you haven't seen it, go check out the short. But they finished the season 31-0 for a perfect regular season for the first time as a MAC school has ever done that. They won the MAC championship for the first time since 05. So again, just check out the short, man. But again, shout out Miami, Ohio. So wanted to give Travis Steele and the boys the opening segment for that. Now let's get into some games for today, man. I got 7 games to preview today, and then we get our first automatic qualifier into the tournament later tonight. But we're going to start with the top 25 matchup. We got Vanderbilt at Tennessee. Tennessee, because this is 3.5-point favorites. This game is 2:00 on ESPN. Now, Tennessee will more than likely, and I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not playing, be without Nate Ament today, who suffered a high ankle sprain against Bama at the end of the first half. Tried to play on it in the second half, could not do so. Did not play against South Carolina. They didn't need him against South Carolina, but I don't think he will be playing in the regular season finale in Tennessee. Now, even with Tennessee missing Nate Ament, they're still 3.5-point favorites, man. And Bishop Boswell is questionable due to an illness from what I saw, but I think he'll play. But anyway, Vandy, they're led by Tyler Tanner. He's averaging 19 points per game, 5.3 assists, and 2.5 steals. Duke Miles is back. He's averaging 16 points per game, 4.3 assists, and 2.5 steals. And Tyler Nickel averaging 13.9 points per game. The X factor to me is going to be Dwight McLaughlin, dealing with the bigs down low, dealing with Felix Okpara, JP Estrella, Jalen Carey. So he's going to be big. He's going to have to rebound because Vandy doesn't want to give up a bunch of second chance opportunities to a team that's without one of their best players. He's averaging 7 boards per game. He's even averaging 10 points per game. So that'll all be big for Vandy as an X factor. Now, Tennessee, they're led by Jacoby Gillespie. He's averaging 18 points per game, 5.6 assists, and 2.1 steals. Felix Okpara, 7.7 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 1.3 blocks. And JP Estrella averaging 9.8 points per game, 5.1 rebounds per game. Again, Nate Ament is more than likely out. So the X factor to me is going to be Amari Evans. Amari Evans stepped up with Ament being out of the lineup. He played like 30 minutes, I think, against South Carolina, and they're going to need production from him. And especially if Ament and Boswell's out, they're going to need him to step up in replacement of Nate Ament. So that's my X factor for today. But my winner kind of gave it away because I was about to say Vandy. But my winner is Vandy. I think Vandy gets it done on the road. Now, granted, Vanderbilt hasn't been the greatest since starting 16-0. They have not. But Tennessee, I think, is going to miss Nate Ament today. I really do think that they're going to miss his scoring. I think that's what they're going to miss the most, the production he brings on the offensive side of the ball. Vanderbilt is a team that can score a ton. The guards can attack the paint. They can penetrate the paint and score or kick out. I think that Vandy's going to give them a lot of trouble today. And a lead is just never safe for Tennessee. Unfortunately for Tennessee fans, a lead is never safe. So I'm going to pick Vandy as an upset on the road in this matchup against Tennessee. Shout out to you, Erica Cruz 6626. Appreciate you for stopping by. And again, man, like, comment, share, subscribe if you like what you're listening to. It helps the channel. But next, we have, and this is a super, super bubble game. Both teams have been doing a great job building their late game resumes. We got Cincinnati at TCU, man. Like I said, both teams been doing an exceptional job building their resumes. TCU has now won 4 straight, including their last win against Texas Tech. Cincinnati, they were on a roll. They did drop a game. I can't remember who they dropped the game to, but nonetheless, they've been making a late season push to be in consideration for that tournament. Now, do I think that they've done enough? Not quite. Do I think they have a chance? You beat TCU on the road. You win a couple games in that Big 12 tournament. We talking. But it starts here against TCU. Cincinnati is led by Baba Miller. Baba Miller averages 13.8 points per game, 10 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 1.2 blocks. Day Thomas, 11.4 points per game, 3.5 assists, and 1 steal. And Jizzle James averaging 11.4 points per game. Now, the X factor to me is Mustafa Thyme and helping form a tough duo down low with Baba and Mustafa, especially because TCU lacks the size that Cincinnati has. So that'll be what they need to do. But next, TCU. They are led by David Punch. He's been playing really good basketball lately. He's averaging 13.6 points per game, 6.7 rebounds, 1.3 steals, and 2 blocks. Xavier Edmonds averaging 13 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, and 1 steal. And Jaden Pierre, who's averaging 10.2 points per game and 1 steal. I don't know why my light is flickering. But the X factor, and they're going to need a ton of production here from the team as a whole, is Michael Robinson, who's averaging 10.7 points per game. They're going to have to score points in bunches to counteract, and they're going to have to, in my opinion, get out in fast in transition to counteract the size of Cincinnati. But because of how hot they've been lately, I'm going with TCU, man. I didn't think TCU would beat Texas Tech, and they got it done on the road. TCU's been tough to beat at home, mixed in with a 4-game winning streak. And Cincinnati lost to Texas Tech. That's who they lost to. But I'm not saying that's why they're going to win because they beat Texas Tech and Cincinnati lost to Texas Tech. No, I was just saying I forgot who it was, and that was who it was. But nonetheless, I have TCU, man, just because, again, y'all know I love teams that get hot late in the year. TCU's been that. They got big wins at home. Like I said, Texas Tech on the road, Iowa State at home. TCU's just tough to beat at home, man, and I'm gonna pull up their home record. They are currently at home 13-5. So give me TCU to beat Cincinnati. And I think if they beat Cincinnati here today, I think they should be firmly in the tournament. But who knows? Next, we have Wisconsin taking on 15th ranked Purdue. Now, Purdue comes into this one as an 8.5-point favorite. Wisconsin, Nolan Winter did get hurt in the game against Maryland in the second half. He is questionable with a lower body injury. I'm not sure whether he will play or not. I did leave him in his stats in because he's questionable, so that means there's a really big possibility. But they may not play him because I think Wisconsin, for what it's worth, is solidified at the seed they are currently at. Let me double check that. But I think for the most part, they're not really playing for too much. Yeah. I mean, 3, 4. They can't. Even with a win, I don't think they can get the triple bye. So I think they're solidified as a double bye. So I don't know if Coach Guard will maybe hold Nolan Winter into the tournament, or if Nolan Winter want to go, because I'm pretty sure it's Nolan Winter senior year, but still, Wisconsin, they are led by Nick Boyd, averaging 20 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, and 3.9 assists. John Blackwell is averaging 18.1 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, and 1.2 steals. And Nolan Winter, who is averaging 13.3 points per game, 8.6 rebounds, 1.2 blocks per game, again, which is questionable. Their X factor to me is going to be Austin Rapp. Whether Nolan Winter plays or not, he's going to be an X factor. If Nolan Winter plays, obviously they need Austin Rapp to step up in a big way. But if Nolan Winter does play, then him scoring 9.3 points per game and being that extra presence down low, and even on the perimeter, because Austin Rapp can knock down the three ball, will be huge against Purdue, who they do have size, they do have presence, but it's not as much, in my opinion, as years past. Now Purdue, they're led by Braden Smith, who's averaging 14.7 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, 8.7 assists, and 1.8 steals. Trey Kaufman-Renn, 13.3 points per game, 8.9 rebounds per game. And Fletcher Lawyer averaging 13.3 points per game. Now, their X factor to me is going to be Oscar Clough. Now, Oscar Clough is going to have to be big in either counteracting Nolan Winter if he plays, or Austin Rapp, or whatever situation Wisconsin is in this game. He's going to be big in counteracting that. He's averaging 9.8 points per game and 7.1 boards. He's got to have the extra presence down low with Trey Kaufman-Renn and Jacobson whenever Jacobson gets in the game. If they play them together, they normally don't, but maybe they might. Anyway, but my winner, I'm going with Purdue on senior night. I think Purdue on senior night is going to be extra motivation to get a win against Wisconsin. Wisconsin is also, like I said, dealing with the Nolan Winter injury. Will he play? Will he not? I have no idea. So I just went and rolled with Purdue on senior night to get the job done. Next, this might be the battle for the Mountain West. San Diego State got the job done against UNLV last night. So if New Mexico wins, it will be a three-way tie for first place. If Utah State wins, Utah State wins the outright Mountain West Conference championship, because going into yesterday, San Diego State was a game behind Utah State. So now they should be a half a game. Yep, they're a half a game behind them right now. New Mexico currently is a game behind Utah State. So with the win, that would make them tied. And that would also make San Diego State tied with both teams at 14-6. So it's either going to be a three-way tie between San Diego State, New Mexico, and Utah State, or Utah State wins it outright. This game decides that. Now, New Mexico, they're coming off a loss against Red Hot Colorado State, which I made a short about them as well. Please go check that out. But they're led by Jake Hall. Jake Hall is averaging 15.8 points per game. Tomislav Buhan, the 23-year-old freshman, who's averaging 12.2 points per game, 10.2 rebounds, and a steal per game. And Dayton Aubrey, who's going viral lately because he had the shades on against Colorado State. He's averaging 11.7 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, and 1.3 steals per game. Their X factor to me is going to be Uriah Tenet, and he's scoring off the bench, who's averaging 10.3 points per game off the bench. He's going to have to knock down shots in a tough environment against Utah State. Utah State, they're led by MJ Collins, who's averaging 17.3 points per game. Mason Felslev, averaging 16 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, and 2 steals. And Drake Allen, averaging 7.2 points per game, 4.6 assists, and 1.9 steals per game. Now, their X factor to me is also going to be a guy scoring off the bench, who is Carson Templin, who's averaging 9.1 points per game off the bench. I think both teams are going to need their bench scorers to step up in this ball game. But I ultimately went Utah State, man. Utah State, tough team to beat at home. New Mexico, they've been playing well lately, but they play better at the pit than they do on the road. Utah State is currently 13-1 at home. New Mexico has a good road record, being 7-4, but Utah State is just a different animal at home than they are on the road. Like, Utah State got punished last time they played against UNLV, but that was on the road. They almost lost by 30, but that was, again, on the road. Now, senior night, last home game, you want you guys to go out 14-1, not 13-2. So give me Utah State to win. Now, I do think it's going to be tough when you got to go against guys like Buhan and Tomislav Buyan and JT Rock. JT Rock is a guy that can also shoot around the perimeter. He's probably one of the better three-point shooters along with Jake Hall, but I think Utah State has the scoring and can counteract. So give me Utah State. Next, this is also another super bubble game. Indiana, depending on who you're asking, should be in, maybe not. But this is really a bubble game for Ohio State. Ohio State needs this win if they want to make the dance. They got a huge win against Purdue to help build their resume. I think they need to win this game. If they don't win this game, I don't think Ohio State's in the dance as we speak. But I mean, as the end of that result. But man, Ohio State needs this one for his tournament resume. They come into this as 3.5-point home favorites. This game is 5:30 on Fox. Now, Indiana is led by Lamar Wilkerson, who's averaging 21.1 points per game and 1 steal. Tucker DeVries averaging 13.8 points per game, 5.2 assists, and 1.1 steals. And Nick Dorn averaging 8.4 points per game. Their X factor to me is going to be Sam Alexis, who had 23 points in the win against Minnesota this earlier in the week. So he's going to be big because Ohio State got some guys that can go. Speaking of, they're led by Bruce Thornton, who's averaging 19.9 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 1.2 steals. John Mobley averaging 15.2 points per game, and Devin Royal averaging 14 points per game, 5.7 rebounds. And their X factor to me is going to be Amari Bynum. Again, y'all know I love me some Amari Bynum, the freshman for Ohio State. His scoring, he's averaging 9.5 points per game and 4.7 rebounds per game. I think he's going to have to be able to score with Tucker DeVries. I think he's going to have his hands full, Dylan, possibly with Tucker DeVries. So I think him on the offense and the defensive side of the ball game could be a huge X factor for Ohio State. But my winner, going to Ohio State. Why? Indiana at home, again, is a different beast than Indiana on the road. Now, Indiana, they can score. Lamar Wilkerson can score. Tucker DeVries can score. But I'm worried about everybody else coming along on the road in Ohio State. Wow, Ohio State got John Mobley, bucket. He don't need you to set him up to score. Bruce Thornton, another guy, he don't need you to set him up to score. Amari Bynum evenly. He don't really need you to set him up. He can go one-on-one and get him a bucket. Devin Royal, he can work the mid-range and get to the cup. So Ohio State just got bucket getters, and I think if this game was on the road for Ohio State, it'd be a little bit difficult because Indiana got the Bloomington home crowd and everything behind them. But them being at the Value City Arena and Indiana not necessarily being the greatest road team, I'm taking Ohio State to get a huge resume win and help build their resume to make the tournament. Now, next, we have a top 20 matchup. We have number 17, North Carolina, on the road at number 1, Duke. 6:30 on ESPN. Now, this is a major rivalry game, but as y'all may have seen news as of yesterday, 2 days ago, Caleb Wilson broke his hand in practice, allegedly broke his hand in practice because that's the report, but he broke his hand or broke his thumb, in practice and had to have season-ending surgery. So prayers to him. They said he should be ready by draft workouts and everything, so that's good. But I know Caleb was working. Well, I don't personally know, but I've heard that Caleb was working hard to come back specifically for this rivalry game. And it's unfortunate that injuries like this occur and he can't come back and play a huge rivalry game as a finale of his college regular season. But I digress. North Carolina, they're led by Henry Vazar, who is averaging 16.5 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks. Seth Trimble, 14.2 points per game, 1.2 steals. And Luka Bogovic, averaging 10.1 points per game. Now, their X factor to me, I've normally been saying Zayden High, but this time I'm going Jaren Stevenson. Jaren Stevenson, to me, if he can knock down some perimeter shots, get going scoring, rebound the ball, that may help North Carolina to overcome this Duke team who's been playing excellent basketball since losing to said North Carolina. Jaren Stevenson, he's been averaging 30. He's been shooting the ball 30.3% from three, but he can shoot it from three. Trust me. Next, We have Duke, who is led by Cam Boozer, who's averaging 22.6 points per game, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1.6 steals per game. Isaiah Evans, who's averaging 14.6 points per game, and Caleb Foster averaging 8.6 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game. But their X factor to me is Malik Brown. Malik Brown and helping play defense on Jaren Stevenson, as Zayden High. Maybe he might get switched on to Henry Vazar. He might have to hold his own against that. Also, he's a huge because Patrick Nwamba is questionable, but it said undisclosed, so I don't know the reason why, but he is questionable going into this game. So he may even be injected into the starting lineup. So Malik Brown is going to be my X factor for Duke. But my winner is Duke, man. I'm sorry. Duke last game against North Carolina, they did lose. They led the entirety of the game until Seth Trimble hit that three. That game to me was more so of a Duke meltdown than a North Carolina win. Now, granted, all win to North Carolina for getting all congrats for getting the win. But Henry Vazar hit a crazy three. Then I can't remember. I think it was it Henry Vazar that hit two? Somebody else hit another crazy three, like right after Vazar to tie it. And then Trimble hit the game-winning three after somebody, I think it was Cam Boozer, missed like a layup before the three. And man, it just seemed like manifest destiny, I guess, for North Carolina to win that ball game. This time, however, I think Duke dominates, man. No Caleb Wilson is going to be huge. Caleb Wilson had a monster first half, too, by the way. Vazar had a monster second. I'm taking Duke, man. I just don't think that North Carolina should have won the last game. Now Duke's at Cameron Indoor. They got that salty taste on their mind from their only ACC loss being against a rival in North Carolina. I know they're thinking that we should be undefeated in ACC play, and I think that they take revenge tonight. So give me Duke, and that's the same angle I got. Duke BTA on the revenge angle. Shout out to Stand on Business. I got Stand on Business. My fault. Stand on Business. Shout out to you. Next, and the final game I got for y'all is Auburn at Alabama in the Iron Bowl. I almost didn't talk about this game. I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. The only reason, and I mean the only reason why I'm talking about this game, is because this is a huge game for Auburn and their chances to make the tournament. Even though I think currently Auburn should be out or win on the road at Bama, this should be a huge quad one opportunity for Auburn to end the season, one, on a high note, and two, change the minds of the voters. But to me, as we speak, Auburn should be out. And I have a reel about that too, so make sure y'all check that out as well. It's on the channel. But Auburn, they're led by Keyshawn Hall, who's averaging 20.6 points per game and 6.9 rebounds. By the way, Bama's 7.5 point favorites. This game is 8:30 on ESPN at 8:30. If you want to watch the game, but Auburn's led by Keyshawn Hall, Tahad Pettiford. Tahad Pettiford is averaging 15.1 points per game, 3.6 assists, and 1 steal. And Kevin Overton averaging 12.9 points per game, 1.2 steals per game. Now, the X factor to me is going to be Keyshawn Murphy. Why? Because Bama scored points in bunches, and Auburn's going to have to match them, and I think Keyshawn Murphy's going to have to put up the 10.7 points per game he's averaging to stay in distance of Bama. Speaking of Bama, they are led by LeBaron Fillon, who, man, having a year. I can't wait to see LeBaron Fillon in the NBA. And LeBaron Fillon is averaging 21.5 points per game, 4.8 assists, and 1.2 steals. Aiden Holloway is averaging 16.5 points per game and 4 assists per game. And Amari Allen averaging 11.7 points per game, 7.1 rebounds, and 1.1 steals per game. Now, the X factor to me is Latrell Ricehill. I feel like you could have won Latrell Ricehill or Houston Mallette. But that three-point shooting ability of Latrell Ricehill, who's averaging 13.5 points per game, shooting it at 37.6% from the three-point line, I think that's going to be key because Bama loves to chuck up threes, and they chuck them up at a high rate. So that's why I got Latrell Ricehill as my X factor. But my winner is Bama. I just think Bama. Well, first of all, I would like to say that Auburn's been playing terrible to end the year. That's one reason why I'm going with Bama. But two, Bama at home, rivalry game, tough environment. I just see Nate Oates out coaching Stephen Pearl, getting the job done. And ultimately, I think this game would put Auburn officially out. I mean, Auburn can always make a tournament run, but as today will put them completely out of the tournament, in my opinion. So give me Bama to win this game. Now, those are all 7 games I have to talk about, but I do want to mention a game, and that is the Ohio Valley Conference Championship, which gives us our first automatic qualifier tonight. Now, that's tough. That's a tough. I want to say yes. I want to say the way Auburn's been playing lately and how efficient and how high powered. I don't want to say efficient. Take that back. How high powered Bama's offense is and how Auburn's been playing lately. I'm gonna go yes. I think Alabama covers the spread. But hashtag not a gambling show. Hashtag bet responsibly. But the game I wanted to mention is the Ohio Valley Conference Championship between Morehead State and Tennessee State. Both teams tied to end the regular season. Both teams won a share of the Ohio Valley Conference Championship in the regular season. Again, I have a reel about Nolan Smith and Tennessee State winning the Ohio Valley Conference Championship for the first time since 94-95 season. So check that out. Big ups to Nolan Smith yet again. First time ever head coach, first year at Tennessee State. And he had a historical season with them to date. Now, if Morehead State wins, just another, Morehead State trip to the NCAA tournament. They've done it, I think, like 4 times since 2020, something like that. But Tennessee State has not made the NCAA championship since the 94-95 season. So this is huge for history for them. Also, man, now I'm conflicted because I'm not going to lie. And I have an episode, so if you want to know who I have winning for each tournament so far, check that out. I did that on Tuesday. But I picked Morehead State to win the Ohio Valley Conference Championship, the tournament championship, excuse me. And I'm conflicted because obviously I want to be right. Not only for, the show's sake, but just, my personal. I want to be right. But then you have Tennessee State, who has 2 guards that can go. They can go. One of them, they have the player of the year. And part of me wants to see history. Again, Nolan Smith from the DMV. I'm from the DMV. Nolan Smith, first-time head coach. Black head coach. I'm black, obviously. So I would love to see that. So I'm going to watch this game. Normally, I'm like, man, I want to be right, man. And I'm like rooting for the team I picked for. I'm watching this game carefree. I just want to see good basketball. I want to see great guard play because both teams have it. And whoever wins, let the best team win, man. Whether I'm right or Tennessee State makes history, I'm all for it. Wanted to mention the game. The game's at 9 o'clock. I forgot what channel it's on, so give me 1 second. I should have wrote that down. But we have our first automatic qualifier today. Yes, sir. Nolan Smith, from Duke, the guard from Duke, played in Portland. He coaches at Tennessee State. This is his first ever head coaching job, I should say. First ever head coaching job, first year there, and he's already making history at Tennessee State. So Nolan Smith is at Tennessee State. But the game is tonight, 9 o'clock. I want to say it's on ESPNU because that's what channel the game was on last night. No, it's on ESPN2, not ESPNU. So the championship game is on ESPN2. Again, this is going to give us our first automatic qualifier on the year. So very excited for that game. Now, obviously, like I said, I picked Morehead State to win the tournament. So I'm if you ask me who I think is going to win, I think them. But I don't care who wins. I just want to see good basketball, and I'm happy with either way. Now that's all I have for y'all today. So please, again, like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps the network. Speaking of the network, we have multiple shows on the network. We have the main show of the R2L network featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave. They go live on Mondays and Thursdays between 7 and 8:30. I got to do it. I'm sorry. I know I'm a college talking sport, but I got to do it. I'm pretty sure the topic Monday is going to be about how my Ravens just traded for Max Crosby. Shout out EDC. He saw all y'all talking bad about Twitter. Went and got Max Crosby. I've been asking for Max Crosby for like a month and some change. Shout out EDC getting it done. Yeah, it was expensive. It cost 2 first-round picks, but he got it done. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be a topic Monday. Make sure y'all tune into the main show for that. We have Unfazed, who went live on Wednesday, 9:45 Eastern, 8:45 Central. Now, they go live on different times, so don't just look for them around that time. But they've shifted over to the NBA. They still had some NFL topics, but that's featuring Joe and AJ, so make sure you check them out. We have BWT, Baseball with Teddy. You know who else dropped a bomb today? Shohei Ohtani, man. 2 5 o'clock games, 2 back-to-back bombs. Shout out Ohtani in Japan. Shout out America, man. We won by 10 as well. But the GOAT, man, 2 bombs, 2 days. The World Baseball Classic has been fun to watch. Make sure y'all check out Teddy. He went live last night to talk about the World Baseball Classic. So make sure y'all check him out. We have FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. Again, obviously, fantasy football season's over. The NFL football season in general is over. Spring League should be starting up soon. But make sure y'all check him out. Free agency starts in like 4 days. So be on the lookout for content he drops there. We have RBO, Real Ballers Only. My Pistons got smacked by the Spurs. Is what it is. But NBA show, make sure you check him out. We got Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sport. We have In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo, boxing episode for all you boxing fans who love, to watch boxing, talk boxing. In the Red Corner is your show. They go live on Sundays, not every Sunday, but when they do go live, it is on Sundays around 6:30. And we have Zero Sports Talk with Griffey, again, new show. So I don't know the logistics of when he drops, when he go live, if he go live, stuff like that. So just be on the lookout for that as well. And that's all the shows we have on the network. So like, comment, share, subscribe to those as well. And if you like what you're listening to, please stick with us. And with that being said, we got 2 hours, man, until we got some basketball tipping off. UConn is playing Marquette for a share of the Big East Big East Championship. They'll be tied with St. John. St. John has won the Big East for back-to-back years since, I think, for the first time since like the 84 and 85, something like that. So shout out St. John's for that. We have some tournament games at 12 o'clock. We also have some semifinal games. We got the Big South semifinals today. Oh, I want to give one more shout out, man. Shout out to Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern has been streaking. They ruined my Sun Belt pick, beat them in the 3rd round. Then they beat South Alabama last night. So shout out to Georgia Southern, who, as a low seed, made their way to, I believe, the semifinals, if I'm not mistaken, maybe the quarterfinal. But either way, they won more games in the Sun Belt than they shouldn't have. And I also want to shout out Drake. Drake also ruined my Missouri Valley Conference pick. They beat Belmont by 21 yesterday, en route to make it the semifinals. So Drake has made the semifinals where they take on the University of Illinois Chicago, another team who's, I think they're the 5th seed in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. So a lower seed will advance to the finals tomorrow. They will play the winner of, I think, Bradley and Illinois State. So shout out to teams streaking in tournaments, trying to make the big dance. But that's all I got for y'all today. I'm debating if I'm going live tomorrow before I do This Week in College Basketball. This Week in College Basketball is normally at the end of like all the basketball games. The last basketball. This week in college basketball will not be at the end of the last basketball game because the WCC tournament wants to play a game at 11 o'clock, possibly 11:30. So it will be at night, just won't be the last game. It'll probably be after Iowa, Nebraska, or it'll probably be at the end of Iowa, Nebraska, because that's the last regular season game. So be on the lookout for that. I'm debating if I might just do Michigan State as a short, to be honest. But I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.